it was done by the family, and they probably already paid taxes on it anyway, why should they then pay taxes again on it?
Because they have the privilege of residing in the United States. Sorry, I'm trying to get into liberal logic. It's
but
difficult.
This is the problem, though.
I know.
This is the problem. This is somebody who has already earned money and wants to give it as a gift to his heirs. Because why not give it to the family? Why not let the family members enjoy that money? Now, they may be scalawags, and they may decide that they want to waste that money, or they don't want to work. That's their choice, because it's their money. And if they don't want to, that's their choice. We're all individual human beings who have our own decision. It's our own decision what we want to do with our money. And the fact that the president wants to limit this is a big problem for me. Now, the other thing he plans on suggesting is reform financial sector taxation to make it more costly for the biggest financial firms to finance their activities with excessive borrowing. The president will propose a fee on large, highly leveraged financial institutions to discourage excessive borrowing. Okay. You know what's the best way to discourage excessive borrowing? Letting the company go out of business. Because they can't balance their sheets. I mean, how often do we see that? Or letting banks say, you know something? You've maxed out your credit. We're not going to let you borrow anymore. Individual people aren't allowed to do that anymore. Once that happens, you have debt collectors go after you. The same here. Don't put a tax on it. That's stupid. Instead, let companies take the risks and have them end up getting suffering the consequences. At the same time, what does this also suggest? This also suggests that the businesses could possibly start relying on the government more for funding. I mean, look at how often we see corporate welfare. Look at how often we see cronyism. This could encourage more politicians, both Republican and Democrat, by the way, to say, you know something? This company A is going to get in trouble for excessive borrowing. So maybe what we ought to do is we ought to write in the new defense appropriations bill. We ought to write in, hey, we're going to make sure that X company gets X money for X work, or to do this work, or gets X tax abatement, whatever. This is the problem when government and businesses get too close to each other. Because this is ridiculous. Now, the president has also proposed simplify, consolidate, and expand education tax benefits to improve college affordability. The president's plan will consolidate six overlapping education provisions into just two, while improving the American Opportunity Tax Credit to provide more students up to $2,500 each year for 5 years as they work towards a college degree. This, by the way, includes his free, or is separate from his free community college proposal. He says it cuts taxes for 8.5 million families and students and simplifies taxes for more than 25 million families and students that claim education tax benefits. Now, I'm all for making the tax simpler. But I'm not sure this is the way to go. And I love this last proposal. Make it easy and automatic for workers to save for retirement. The president will put forward a retirement tax reform plan that gives 30 million additional workers the opportunity to easily save for retirement through their employer. So guess what's probably going to end up happening? It's probably going to end up being Obamacare for the 401k. Obama 401k. That probably is what it's going to look like. When in reality, it ought to be up to the individual companies and the individual people to decide whether they want to tax or not, save or not. It should be up to them. And if banks want to offer a 401k, and if companies want to offer a 401k, it should be up to the companies and the banks and the individual people on whether they want to do that or not. It's not the government's job. It never has been the government's job. And it should not be the government's job to do this sort of thing. The government is not meant to be your parent. It is not meant to be your nanny. And this is the problem. Liz, would you like to weigh in on this?
I was wondering, the government's supposed to take care of you from the cradle to the grave. Just ask Julia. Her life is so full and wonderful. Did she have a face? I can't remember.
No, she never did.
Yeah. There's this thing in liberalism. Faceless women, nameless women, and never mind. If I start getting into that, then everybody's going to be really annoyed with me. Hi, Alan. How is it today?
All right, now I should be able to hear you. Alan, I can still hear your music, so I am going to... Yes.
Yeah, kick him.
No, Alan kicked himself because he realized that it was still playing. What we were going to try to do was have Alan Bordius on to discuss what their finest hour, which is coming up next here on Vigilant Liberty Radio, was going to be about. Once he gets everything all figured out, we'll try to invite him back.
Yeah, but in the meantime, the whole more taxes. You do realize what this is about.
What is
it? The president realizes that the likelihood that he's going to get any of the things that he says tomorrow night is somewhere around slim and none. And all he's doing is posturing and BS. He is trying to scare the newly elected Republicans and the Republicans who have been there for a while now into thinking that he actually is going to try to do things with his pen and phone. And up until this point, we have had the argument the Democrats are going to use the veto as a political tool. Well, I've got news for you folks. You were throwing a party today over the fact that some polls decided to be generous and put the president's approval rating at 50%. Most of them were sitting at 48. Now, if you're celebrating because your guy has a 50% approval rating, You need help.
I believe we do have Alan Bordius back now.
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, excellent. So, Alan, what should we have the entire triad here. It looks
Yes,
like.
we do.
Yes, we do. Triad radio, folks. Just kidding. Alan, what should we expect coming up on, in just a few minutes? Coming up on their finest hour.
Just a few minutes, you will have me. I'm going to be flying solo for a while. Going to open up the phones, talk about some current events, talk about the concert I went to on Saturday night, which was, I chaperoned.
The non-date?
The non-date, yes. The non-date that ended with a great big non-date hug.
No kiss?
No kiss, at least not that I observed. And I'm okay with that. But Crystal Schoenveld is going to join me later on.
Very cool.
And I wanted to have Crystal on because I needed to have, in light of the dust up over Seth Rogen and Michael Moore over American Sniper, I needed to have one of my designated veterans on tonight.
Yeah, while you were talking about it, I will undoubtedly be writing about it for Radix Daily.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't actually gone to see the movie yet, so that's something on the list of to-dos for this week. Probably won't happen till Friday or Saturday, but need to go see it so I can chime in a little more. I have the book, too, but I haven't gotten around to reading it either.
Yeah, I have the book somewhere.
By the way, congratulations are in order to Matt Dawson, a.k.a. Saint RPH, who is the resident redneck on Super Mexicans podcast on FTR Radio. He is now a cartoonist at Breitbart, Texas.
Very cool.
That's very cool. Congratulations, Matt. You are definitely one of the must-follows on Twitter.
Yes.
Yes, and he is the creator of Pint Size Pundit's cute little logo thing. In case
somebody else we can hit up for some VLR artwork then.
Well, I don't know. Now that he's made the big time and is a Breitbart boy.
Well, I can make the same offer I made to Sarjax, who of course has drawn some stuff for their finest hour for some of Chris's Gamergate pieces. Hey, I will pay if the price is right.
Right.
I would, by the way, like to say, oh boy, this is how I'm going to end this edition of The Edge of Anarchy. Amanda should be back next week to discuss, hopefully, her trip, as well as everything else that is on her mind. I want to end this with a series of tweets by Sean Venkman.
Oh, good
apparently, the man who I am in a sexual relationship with, as was discussed or discovered last night.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to. It has to do with something else that's been burning up Twitter that I've been trying to avoid discussing.
I have other news about Sean, but we'll save that for when I'm talking to Crystal later.
All right. Setting the record straight about the neurosis behind why so many good little commie hipsters are seriously freaked out by American Sniper. Nothing scares progressive beta femboys more than the thought of a bad man who's blending in with his surroundings with a scoped rifle. They can't handle the fact someone does every day what they could never bring themselves to do, even if they needed to defend their family. Just like the guy in Saving Private Ryan, they'd listen to loved ones getting killed and do nothing. They're impotent. So they called Chris Kyle a coward because they're neurotically projecting. Nothing scares them more than the world figuring them out. Thank you very much to Sean Venkman. And their finest hour is coming up next with Alan Bordius. So be sure to stick around for that. I'm Taylor Millard. She's Liz Harrison. Alan Bordius comes up in about 30 seconds or so. And thank you for listening to The Edge of Anarchy here on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of hosts, panelists, and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media or anyone else.